Hello everyone, welcome to the fourth episode of Course Review with Kamath. In today's episode, I have with me Srinivas Kumar R, who is currently studying at TU Stuttgart and is pursuing Master of Science degree in Computer Science. So without any further ado, let us welcome Srinivas to this session. Hi Srinivas, welcome to the session.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me to the session. It's great to be here.
So basically, it would be great if you could briefly introduce about yourself. What were you doing for joining this course, and were you having some professional experience, and how did you think of coming to Germany?
Yeah, sure. So I did my bachelor's from M.Sc College, Bangalore. I was 2018 pass out there. I did it in computer science. After doing that, I worked for around 2.5 years in a software company. So I do have professional experience for software development, testing, etc. So I wanted a change of streams. Specifically, I was sent to something called cloud computing, and I wanted to switch over to artificial intelligence. So I was quite interested in some specific areas of applications of artificial intelligence for climate change and sustainability. And I saw that Germany is actually doing a lot of things in sustainability with Industry 4.0 and in general, there are many startups in Berlin. So I thought it would be a good idea for me to come here to do my master's in the same. And and I applied to a bunch of universities. I got in University of Stuttgart, the Master Science program. I'm majoring in autonomous systems here in the University of Stuttgart. The course being computer science, but major being autonomous systems. And that's pretty much about me. Yes.
So, were there any other universities wherein similar kind of courses are available wherein you did not apply, or why did you particularly choose Stuttgart?
Right. Actually, the only reason I chose University of Stuttgart is because I got into University of Stuttgart and
Okay.
I didn't get into other places. Okay. So the reason I actually didn't get might be quite important for others to hear. So if I were to rank some of the universities for just computer science and informatics in Germany, I would say the number one university is TU München. After that, you have RWTH Aachen, and then you have TU Berlin, then you have Saarland University, and then you have maybe University of Tübingen, and then you have University of Stuttgart.
Okay.
This according to some major rankings like US. So I applied to all these universities, but I only got in the University of Stuttgart. Now, the reason for this is most of these universities, they have a criteria that during your bachelor's, you're supposed to have a specific number of credits, like around 24 to 30 credits in certain subjects of computer science, like theoretical computer science and mathematics. Unfortunately, my bachelor's study program didn't have those number of credits, so I got rejected in those, and I got an admit in University of Stuttgart by, I don't know, some luck or whatever. But that's the reason I got in this and I chose this. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Regarding course similarity, I think that I think any informatics course in other universities, I'm sure they cover pretty much all the content here. There is a bit of focus on robotics, which is for autonomous systems here, but I'm sure any other course in any other university has focusing on informatics will have focus on robotics, AI. It is up to you to choose. So yeah.
Okay. So that's really good information to know about, because to be honest, when I also applied in the mechanical domain, they also always look for the particular subjects during bachelor's, which meant that I could not get into our automotive domain just because I did not learn few of the subjects. So it's a very good information for the people who want to apply in future to know. So the next question which interests me really is when when I wanted to come to Germany, they always said if you want to work in mechanical or automotive domain, Germany is a must. But however, many people also said, okay, if you are going into IT, computer science domain, then you can survive only with English. You don't need to know any German. So what is your opinion on this?
Right, that's a very good question. I think even for internships or work student jobs in IT, I think German is necessary. I don't know why this kind of an opinion comes that German is not necessary if you're in IT. If you have, let's say, 100 jobs, I would say at least for 60 of these jobs, you require good knowledge of German, at least B2 or above B2, like C1 or C2. So I think it's definitely required that before you come here, even for a IT thing or something like that, especially if you're a fresher out of college, please make sure to learn at least until at least B1. Yeah, at least learn until B1, and coming here you can do B2 maybe. So the situation varies. If you have many years of experience, I think then you can manage with just English. But even those people say that things would be a lot more better for them career-wise if they actually do learn German. So yeah, my opinion on this is you do need German even if you do come for IT. So yeah.
So now that we have talked about the necessity of German language and different universities, it is the time now to get to know about your course in particular. So can you briefly elaborate on what exactly your course consists of, what are the prospects when you join this particular course, and how does the course structure in general look like?
Sure. So my course is actually the Master's in Computer Science. In this, you have an option to major in 3 different fields. The first one being autonomous systems, which I'm currently doing. The second one being visual computing, and the third one being service technology, service-based technology, right? So autonomous systems, it's something where you would be studying more about robotics, artificial intelligence, and things like that. The second one, visual computing, it's something where you would be studying subjects related to computer vision, quite theoretical subjects actually, where you could actually do some good amount of research in computer vision related domains like object detection and things like that. And also you would have a good mix of AI as well in these two, both autonomous or visual computing. And the third one, so service technology and things like that, is related to the software industry, where you have legacy systems for maintaining software and those things. So I would say that the third one, that is the service technology, is actually meant for professionals who actually already have experience in the software industry and know how things work there. For example, deploying a microservice and things like that. So if you are a direct fresher out of college, you probably wouldn't have too much understanding of that. So that's probably not the right course for you to choose. With the service-based technology course, I believe that if you want to enhance your technical skills and maybe go from a different level software engineer to another, then it's the right course for you. That's the prospects from that course. Now coming to the other two, let's talk about autonomous systems, which I'm doing currently. So if you're interested in like a bit of robotics, maybe like self-driving cars, for example, then it is the right course for you to take. So Stuttgart actually happens to be having multiple companies working on autonomous driving, for example, Mercedes-Benz or Porsche, etc. And also, it also happens to have Robert Bosch here. So I think with AI, you do have decent prospects in these places. If you are interested in autonomous driving and things like that, I think it's the right course. However, usually students have this perspective that, oh, I'll take something that's general computer science, nothing specific in, for example, autonomous systems, and then after coming here, I'll decide what to do next.
Okay.
And that's what even I was like, and I see many students generally do. I'll just do something general. After coming here, I'll decide what to specialize in. Look, all I have to say is that's a big mistake, especially if you're coming to Germany. If you maybe go to the United States, maybe there it would work for you. But coming here, I think you should have a good understanding that, like, if I'm coming to this university and this particular program, this is what I want out of it. I want to get into autonomous systems. I want to become a better software developer into this particular sector. So I think if you come to autonomous systems, like, have a goal in mind that I want to get into this robotics firm, or I want to do my PhD in this section of AI and robotics and things like that. So yeah, I think that's the prospects with respect to autonomous systems. Now coming to the second one, visual computing. I think it's quite computer vision intensive, yes, but again, I don't think they're actually employing the latest methods in AI for computer vision. But and this is just a general problem here in Germany. Computer science, they use pretty old methods rather than new technologies. So I think prospects here would be, again, like, I've seen people who come do this course and then they just pick some random software job because they're not getting what they want to get after coming here. So yeah, I think prospects would be like, just what I see is, like, usually people get into companies like Daimler, Siemens, or Robert Bosch as, like, maybe like some sort of a software developer or a junior machine learning engineer. So I would say that, like, your prospects are limited. So please make sure that you're sure that you want to get into this domain and only then come in here.
So yeah, for sure, this information which you have said in the past few minutes is something very important, because not a lot of us before coming to Germany get all this information on how it feels once you are in this course, what exactly the ground situation is back here at the university. So one other question which interests me when I speak about the course at TU Stuttgart is, it is a 2 years course. So in the first 6 months, is it compulsory subjects, or do you get electives, and when do you get this? Can you elaborate a bit on this?
Right. So in this aspect, I think it's quite, University of Stuttgart offers you quite a bit of flexibility here. So for example, in computer science, you have 4 divisions, namely core subjects, compulsory subjects, extended, and then some electives and things like that. Actually 5 but 4, but anyways. So you can actually choose these subjects at any point of time in your university stay. Like, you can choose it in 2nd semester or 3rd semester. You can choose it when you want. The only rule is, like, I mean, it's not exactly a rule, but like, you finish your subjects, then you start your master thesis. So usually the only thing is, make sure to finish your subjects and then start your master thesis. There is no compulsion whatsoever that you do your compulsory subject in the first semester and then do the other subjects. I, for example, I actually took the compulsory subjects in my first semester while I was still in Bangalore, India, but I dropped the exam because it was too hard for me. So I again took it later in my 3rd semester, and so I completed it now. So there is no such compulsion. Yeah.
So there is a high degree of flexibility provided from the university itself.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
One of the other important questions which many of us would be interested to know is what is the class composition? Are there multinational students studying this course in your class, and how does it look like in general?
Sure. So I'm doing the masters in computer science.
Mm-hmm.
Before I actually get into the class compositions, let me just inform the students of the other international programs in the university. I'll
Okay.
explain why later. So you have Infotech, which is a combination of again IT and a little bit more of embedded electronics and things like that.
Okay.
That's one more program, and you have electrical engineering program. That's also actually an
Mm-hmm.
English international program. And other than that, you have things like water and waste resource management. You have commerce, computation, mechanics, and things like that. So these are all the international programs. For example, Infotech, not my program, but
Mm-hmm.
Infotech, the composition is pretty much, I would say, around 70% Indians in that particular program.
Mm-hmm.
It has a big intake, and also most of the Indians do go to Infotech.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say the intake for that particular program is around, um, I think, easily around 100 or 120.
Okay.
However, now coming to my program, computer science, the intake is actually quite less. The
Okay.
intake is like when for me, I think my batch, I think it was like 10 to around 15. The next batch I've heard it's 20. The intake is less. Now coming to the composition, um, I would say that Indians would probably form like around 4 to 5 members of this 20. Of course,
Mm-hmm.
it is a small number still. Um, so I think the other international people that I have seen are from surrounding Asian countries,
Mm-hmm.
and other than that, a few from again European countries again, but that's pretty much it. Now, like there's actually a German version of this computer science program. It's
Okay.
called Informatic.
Mm-hmm.
So that's loaded with a lot of people there again.
Okay.
It's loaded with I think 70 to 80 people or something, and that is a German program.
Okay.
They can actually do courses from computer science as well, and like we can actually at that point of time I've been able to form assignment teammates with
Ah.
people from Informatic and etc. So I would say there, yes, I got a pretty good learning
Okay.
experience
Mm-hmm.
where I worked with Germans. I saw their working style and all that. But from my course alone, computer science, like I don't think you'll get a very good opportunity to meet just international people there.
Okay.
So because of the intake number.
Okay.
So yeah, I think that's regarding the composition.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the other important questions as Indians before we want to get into the course is we always want to know what is the CGPA requirement, because then knowing this would save a lot of time by not applying to some of the universities if there is no chance. So
Right, right.
do you have a rough guess or idea on what
Sure.
is the
Um,
criteria?
I would say that don't hold me to this number, but I would say from what I've seen, I think 8.5, 8.5 and above.
Okay.
Um, I think 8.5 and above should do. Um, just some other advice I would give for anyone applying here. So I think the common advice that you get is actually quite relevant here. That your LORs have to be
Mm-hmm.
really good.
Okay.
Your letter of motivation has to be really good, of course. And if you don't have that good grades, I would say that get a work experience. Like I think work experience is quite valued here.
Mm-hmm.
Get maybe like I don't know 1.5 year, 2 years or something like that. And other than that, try to, of course, when you're in your undergrad days, try to do some sort of a research internship or try to publish some papers. And if the papers and the domain actually match to what you want to study here, I think it would actually help your application. But yeah, regarding the number, it's 8.5 and above. But as they say, the more the better.
Okay. Thank you very much for this info. And coming to the last question of this session, are you aware of any co-curricular opportunities possible when you are studying at TU Stuttgart or particularly doing your course?
Yeah, I mean, we do have something called Arena 2036. I mean, I remember a bunch of guys like from Infotech, they were working on some cool 3D printer stuff. I think we did have a few, department meetups and student AI communities and things like that. Unfortunately, due to the last COVID cycles and all that, for the last I think 1.5 to 2 years, nothing of that sort has happened much for the computer science department from what I've seen. Um, yeah, I wouldn't be very positive about you expecting co-curricular activities where you'll be working on interesting things. I don't think that would happen. Yeah.
So thank you very much for this informative session. Now that we are coming to the end of the session, I would like to ask the viewers that if there are any further questions, please put it in the comment section and possibly we get back to you with the answers in due time.
Sure.
And thank you very much once again, Srinivas, for taking your time to give your insights on the course that you are studying, and it will for sure be very helpful for many of the students who want to apply in future. Thank you once again and wish you good luck with your future.
Thank you, and wish all the students seeing this good luck with their careers as well.